walk into your kitchen or someone starts screaming there's a snake inside your house. It's one thing to have a snake outside your house, but it's very different to have a snake inside your house, okay? Right. And so this freaks people out. I think it's a really rare thing to actually have a venomous snake in your house, but it does happen.
I guess we should talk about what should you do in that very unlikely scenario. Well, what you do with a snake in general, because that's the more common occurrence. Because
the thing about it is, if you have a snake in your house, most likely it's going to be non-venomous. Right. Not always. Yeah. But if you don't know what it is, treat it as a venomous snake, okay? That's the best thing to do.
Every gun's a loaded gun.
Yeah, right. You know, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you know, if you don't know what it is, and then you certainly don't want to just reach down and pick it up, which is something you could do with most non-venomous snakes. Yeah. That could be that simple.
Talk someone into that who's freaking out on the phone. Yeah. Just pick it up and take it outside.
Right. So, you know, if we're assuming that it's venomous, whether it is or not, you got to realize that the snake's not going to come after you. You know, if you see it and you're, you know, a few feet away from it, even if it is venomous, it's not going to close that distance to come get you.
And that's something that's hard for people to believe because of all these myths and all these folk tales of snakes chasing people. Snakes don't chase people. Snakes will go toward a person, but not so they can come and get you. They don't even really know what you are. So, you know, a snake in your house does not want to come over and bite you. What that snake wants to do is to find his way back outside of your house. You know, snakes don't come into houses to set up shop and to live there. That's not what they do. They don't come into your house to nest or lay eggs or to have babies. Typically, the reasons I think snakes come in is a few reasons. One reason could be a lot of rain. So a little small snake will just go underneath a door, finding a place to get in, to get dry. Maybe the temperature drops and it's a warm place to go. They end up inside that way. Sometimes when a snake is getting ready to shed its skin, you know, their eyes get kind of cloudy and they can't see very well, which means they can't protect themselves against predators. And they look for a place just to hide for 2 or 3 days. That's why you find snake skins in your attic and snake skin under your house, because that's an easy place for snakes to go. And they shed their skin, and once that's over, it's time to leave. A snake is not going to live long-term under your house or in your attic.
Provided there's not ample food and things like that. I mean, even if they're getting food under the house, they are usually coming and going.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen where like a rat snake has maybe lived under a house used the crawl space of a house for an extended period of time.
They kind of come and go. He's not just sitting there for 6 months.
It's a safe place. He might find, if you have mouse problems or something, he may be getting those. But they come and go. You know, there's usually nothing to make a snake want to stay in your house. In particular, in the lived-in portion of your house. You know, a crawl space is one thing. Finding one in your bedroom is very
even a pet snake that you love, okay, and you're feeding this thing and caring for it, if it gets loose,
it will try to get out of your house.
Try to get out of the house and go somewhere else.
So you have the opportunity then to get close enough to use some tools to help you contain that snake, or if you're comfortable, move it yourself. Now, if you know it's venomous and you have no experience, you know, maybe you don't want to try and move it yourself. And that's probably the safest thing to do, but you do need to at least be able to keep eyes on it or contain it in some way.
That's one of the biggest problems we see. When I get a call and someone's got a snake in their house, they freak out, they slam all the doors, they run outside, and they're like, okay, I'm not going back in my house. And then they finally get in touch with me an hour later, or sometimes 2 days later. Now, yeah, there's a snake in my house yesterday. Well, where is it now? It's probably gone. But if I say it's probably gone, that's not good enough for the homeowner. They want to know what's gone. Yeah. So if you see a snake in your house and you're not going to remove it, you're going to call me or call someone else to remove it, keep your eyeballs on the snake. Watch it. If it crawls off somewhere, let it crawl off. But watch, if it goes behind your stove, we know it went behind your stove. We move your stove and we might find a snake, or we might find a hole in your floor where the snakes are coming and going, okay? So, but keep your eyes on the snake.
One thing you can do to try and contain that snake is to put something on top of it, like a bucket, or a trash can's even better, like a kitchen trash can, because they're tall and they allow you to keep your hands far away from the animal.
Yeah.
So you can take that tall trash can and set it on top of it. And we're assuming this is a fairly small snake that
Yeah.
you've got in your house, right? It got in a small area. It's probably not a very big snake. Set the trash can over it, and then you could put a weight on top.
That's
maybe.
always a good thing, because we've seen people put buckets and trash cans over snakes, and the snake can push out from under it, and then you lift a bucket or you lift your trash can and the snake's not there, and that's unsettling to some people. So I think the best thing to have is a broom.
Yeah, brooms are great.
And you can use that indoors or outdoors, and you can you can press a snake down with it to hold him still while somebody's grabbing a trash can, or you can take it and actually just sweep him right out the door.
Yep.
You know, so that's a possibility too.
A small snake, you know, you could, if you're near a doorway, you could just gently scoot them along and sweep them out on the steps, and they'll crawl off back to whatever they were doing.